Okay, so I thought I'd do a quick video about this guitar, which is a James Tyler Variax. Now, these guitars have been around for quite a while. This is about 10 years old. But what they do is still kind of unique in the guitar world, I think. So essentially what this is it's a modeler guitar. It has standard pickups like you'd have in any guitar, but it also has these piezo pickups here in the bridge. And this allows the guitar to do something that you can't do with a lot of other guitars, which is to mimic the sound of different types of pickups, but also to mimic tuning at the per string level. So you can alter the tuning of the strings digitally within the guitar itself. So the reason that I need this, or that I got this, is that I play in a Soundgarden tribute band, or Chris Cornell tribute band, and in a couple of weeks' time we're going to mark the 30th anniversary of Soundgarden's album Superunknown. And that album has 8 wildly different tunings. Soundgarden kind of got into making up their own tunings when they were recording this album. And so if you were to play the album from start to finish in sequence, which is the plan, then you pretty much be changing tuning every single song. So as you can imagine from a gigging perspective, that presents a few challenges. And so rather than bring along a load of guitars with me to the gig, I got this to allow me to essentially bring one guitar and have it change tuning. Okay, so right now I have the bridge humbucker engaged, and so it sounds just like you'd expect it to sound. The guitar is tuned to standard concert tuning, and so it just sounds like a regular guitar. But if I engage the piezo pickups here at the back, that does 2 things. For a start, it now engages the pickup modeling. So I have actually got the guitar at the moment set to mimic a bridge pickup of a Les Paul. But then it also allows me to change the tuning on each of the strings as I see fit. So if we see here in the Helix editor that I'm actually setting the tuning to be C, G, D, G, B, E. So just to show you how that sounds. And so then that allows me to play in a completely different tuning, even though the guitar is actually tuned to concert tuning. And so you can hear that there's no strange artifacts between the strings as you play them. You know, you can imagine sometimes if you're doing digital pitch shifting that it can sound, you can get glitches and stuff like that. But actually it does the job really, really well. Within the guitar itself, there's some magic going on here. I'm not really sure what it is, to be honest, but we can either power this with a battery pack, but because I have this connected with the VDI cable to my Helix, it's drawing power from the Helix, and then it also allows the Helix to change the settings on the guitar at a preset level. And so that's what allows me to do this, basically. So if we look here on my Helix editor, you see that I have a different patch for each of the songs in the set, and they're set out in the order of the album. So if I go to the first song in the set, the guitar is now set to drop D. So you can see here I come into the guitar input, and then that gives me some Variax options here. So I can do things like I can set the pickup model that I wanted to use. So Lester 1 is a Les Paul humbucker bridge. And then you can also do things like change the tuning. So on this one, most of the strings are as you would expect, but I've just dropped the low E string down to a D. So that gives me drop D tuning. The next tune, My Wave, this one's kind of crazy. If you see here, the tuning is actually E, E, B, 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 B. So it's just kind of like one big power chord. So as I change patch on the Helix, so I've got a patch set up for each song in the set. Go on to the next song, Fellow Black Days. This one's actually in concert tuning. So I could use the regular humbuckers, but I'm just leaving it on the model pickup just for consistency of sound. Next one, Mailman, what do we got here? So again, another C tuning. They like their low tunings on this album. So C, G, D, G, B, E. Lovely. Move on again, Superunknown. Again, I think we're dropping the low E to a D and the A to a G. And so you get... other things you can do with it. When Soundgarden were recording Black Hole Sun, neither Chris or Kim were particularly good slide players, so when they came to doing this in the studio, Chris actually took off all of the strings except the B, so that he would have no kind of, sometimes you play slide, you get adjacent strings ringing out and it kind of sounds a bit weird. So right now I have all of the strings except the B muted, so we're getting nothing from these, but my B is active. And so we're getting no kind of ringing out from adjacent strings, so that's really cool. That's for my intro. You see I have snapshots set up my patch here. Click into my crunch for the chorus. Now all of a sudden all of the strings are active again. So you get the idea. So one thing I will say, by having a patch for each song, I have to be kind of careful that the patches all sound pretty consistent. And so what I typically do is I have a template for any of my patches. So for this particular gig, I've just picked one amp that I'm going with, which is the archetype lead, and a cab block, which is actually a stereo cab block. So I run out in stereo from the XLR, and that goes front of house and for my in-ears. But I have a separate path here going out to the 1/4 inch out without the cab block on it. And so that allows me to run out to either a power amp or the effects return of an amp. And then that means I can have some monitoring in the room as well. And so as far as the guitar goes, I picked this up secondhand a couple of months ago. They're actually discontinued now, I think. So really you're looking at the secondhand market to get one. So I kind of got lucky and found one on adverts. And I have to say, I think it's a really, really nice guitar. Like, it's really nicely made. So it's Tyler. Tyler make really good guitars. And this one was done in conjunction with Line6, obviously. So like, it's a really nice weight. I'm used to playing Les Pauls. This feels very like my Les Paul. They've actually solved some of the problems that you typically get with Gibsons as well, in that they don't have the acute angle on the headstock, and also machine heads are tapered, so the strings run really straight through the neck. This also has locking machine heads, and so it holds its tune really, really well. I can pretty much tune it up at the start of the session, and then more or less not think about the tuning again, because when I need to change tuning, it's done digitally through the guitar and through the Helix. So really flexible tool to have if you just want to be able to bring one guitar to a gig and have it cover all your bases.